Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the SAP. That's a live helicopter right on time. We're here on the roof during the Sunset series of the Sex Actually podcast. As always, is your boy Dave Neal with Tasha, Koji, and our new friend Nathan Loe. What's up, my man?
Hey, hi, hello. What's up, guys? I'm
Nate
doing well.
Dog.
Oh, you went right for it.
Yeah, I know you said before we went on air how annoying that is, but what is it about Nate and Dog that puts people together?
There was
right away?
that song a while ago that he did his thing with Eminem. I didn't really follow his career because it was annoying immediately for me.
Well, Nate's a good rap name because it's quick, you know? It's Nate and it's a hard...
I like a good one-syllable thing, but if I were ever going to kind of dip my toe into the rap world, I think I just want to be like a sound effect guy. Like just the hype guy in the back. I do good rap sounds. I can't rap, but I can do like I can do all that stuff.
Hype guy doesn't get enough credit.
It's a great thing.
That's like the mechanic that everyone needs. Like the hype guy, you need the hype guy. No one wants to be the hype guy.
You're generating the fun.
Yeah.
You know, because the rapper there's already a voice on the track. Even at the concerts, there's a voice on the track. The only thing that's really improvised is that guy. He's the real Michelangelo.
I used to do a mic in New York, and there was a guy named, so it was music and comedy, which actually for a mic isn't a bad idea because you get the sympathy of like poets. Like poets will show up and they'll feel bad if no one's laughing, so they'll start like laughing and like snapping their fingers, which is nice.
It's his art. Look at him trying.
Whereas when it's just comics, we're like, okay, loser, move on, you know. But there was this guy, one of my first sets I had to do there was this guy named DJ Flames with a Z.
Nice.
None of that soft DJ Flame shit, DJ Flames. And he had a hype man, and he brought a hype man to the open mics.
It's so good.
Ever told you this, Tasha? There aren't many. You don't even have the mic out. You're just hanging out. Tasha's already mailing in. Do you have an edible today?
No.
You got edible energy.
I feel the edible energy, actually.
So yeah, DJ Flame was he had his hype man and he was like plugged into the sound, so like DJ Flame, Flame. Like,
were there Visavellas? The
whole thing. You thought the alarms were going off. People didn't know what was going on. Some chick just did poetry about her dead dog.
Did DJ Flames was his hype man? Did he also have a moniker?
You know what? He should have been like Spark.
Right? Like Flintstone.
Yeah.
Like that's what gets the flames going.
Boom, there you go. And then, I don't know, but dude, DJ Flame, he brought the heat, man.
That's a good friend, too. Like the hype man for your buddy's open mic. You're just like, you know what? I could do some gun sounds today.
Comics don't have the loyalty that I see in the rap game. And I don't know much about rap. Probably less than Tasha. You know, I don't know anything about rap, but you do see that like the loyalty to like their like you make it, we all make, and maybe that's kind of a bad financial thing.
I think comedy things it's more like the more friends you have, the more likely someone's going to call you to get their car out of impound.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not there's no financial.
There's no come up.
Comedians.
There's like you get up and then somebody's like, hey man. It's been a rough month.
But that's what the thing is, where like with comedy, you build trust in like empathy with the audience by talking about your struggles.
Yeah.
Where with rap, you flaunt what you have before you even have it. These guys, DJ Flames doesn't have money.
Dude, there's some pretty serious like nowadays the mumble rap. I'm trying to get into it. I learned what a vibe was the other day. It's very impressive stuff.
What's a vibe?
I don't know. I was for a while in San Francisco. I was just asking younger kids, I was just holding stuff up like a sandwich. I'm like, is this a vibe? Did we get it? Did we nail it?
Is a vibe
a vibe
like
can literally be anything.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
a vibe.
Several years past like a knowing, like I'm still not on the like I fucks with it, which I think is 4 years old at this point.
No one says that.
I don't think anyone fucks with that.
No one fucks with fucksing with it. But there's even I don't know if this is West Coast or what, but they would say. There's just like there's words that I grammatically don't know what they mean, but cool kids say them. And I guess when you're at my age, you just start slowly, like whenever you look at old people, like, when you're a kid, you realize how do they get there? Well, it's one word at a time till eventually like, you know what? I can't get into any of it anymore. I'm sticking to 90s Hanson.
Well, I'm 27.
You're fucking young.
No, but still, like today I got a Facebook message from somebody that I met in college, and I realized that was almost 10 years ago. And I'm like, all right, I don't get to say vibe. Yeah. Probably that's the cutoff, right?
Unless you're going to a Smash Mouth concert, no vibing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you're 27. I'm 35. You're 2 full high schools younger than me.
What's up, dude?
Like if I was a senior in high school, you'd be 5th grade.
Yeah, but I was hanging out with seniors when I was in the 5th grade. I was a cool kid.
Yeah, I'd be drinking with you. I'd fucks with you.
I fucks with it.
And then Tasha's somewhere in the middle of her age. We're not allowed to say Tasha's age, but she's somewhere between us bros.
You just have like an acting range?
Yeah, totally.
Tasha is between 18 and 23.
You know, I yesterday or the day before went through my profiles and deleted all of the skills that I had put in that I obviously can't do. It was like I finally got old enough where I'm like, I'm not going to try any of this shit.
Yeah, that's going to hurt the joints.
What kind of skills? Like Excel? Like
BMX.
No, man.
I don't know.
When did you BMX?
Never.
Listen,
but
you
I was
put it
like,
in
I can ride a bike.
Listen, here's the deal. You
Let's put
the,
some pegs on it. I'm an artist. We'll figure it out.
let me tell you something. You put the skill in and you figure it out. Tasha said she's good at hurdling. I shit you not.
I had to submit a videotape audition doing hurdles, so
Oh,
we
no.
went down to the local high school. Shit was ugly.
Did you try to YouTube it at least, or you were just like, I know how to jump over things?
Bro, we barely got her over that hurt. Like, we literally.
I did hurdles in 5th grade and was pretty good at it. I was one of the best in my gym class.
I think they get a little higher. I think the hurdles get a little higher.
There's some things you can fake. Like, you're a marathon runner? Sure you are.
Yeah.
But hurdles, there's
no
like.
one's gonna ask you to run a marathon on
fucking-
camera, so you can just say you're a marathon runner because it's gonna be 30-second take.
Yeah,
But
no one's gonna
hurdles
take that kind of time.
hurdles might be the worst track and field event to fake. Shot put. Yeah, I'm a shot putter. I blew my shoulder out, so you kind of make
well,
it work.
it's tough. I mean, I don't know. I threw in college, so I was a hammer thrower at Ole Miss. So I was in the track and field for a very long time.
You do have track and field forearms.
I have track and field vibes.
You got See
that was a vein right there. It's,
You do look
that's
like
a relic from the past.
But that would be a hard thing to
fake.
to
Yeah,
fake.
I mean, I was. See, my sophomore year, I was like hammer throwers are typically the smaller ones. But like my sophomore year, I was 265 pounds, and I was still the smallest thrower on that team.
Jeez.
I mean, this is Illinois. This is the Midwest. These boys be over.
You're
300.
at Illinois?
I was at Illinois for my first 2 years, and then I transferred to University of Mississippi, Ole Miss.
Oh, see, like
Competed there, too.
the Midwest produces men like farm boy strength.
It's weird.
If I never had seen you before and you show up to my tryouts for like football, like I needed you to move shit or people, like a people mover, I'm like, dude, that guy. Look at you, got big feet.
Yeah, but I don't.
Your hands are big.
Yeah, but when strangers ask you to move people, that's a hard ask,
But
right?
there was this guy on the Patriots a couple years ago when they won. Was it David Anders? I can't remember who it was. And as a Patriots fan, I'm sorry, I'm losing my Patriots card here. But he had in the Super Bowl had to go against whoever on the Rams was on the defensive line was like the biggest player. He was a beast of a guy, and it was just this white dude farm boy with a beard.
Oh yeah.
And he just manhandled the defensive player of the year.
Guess
just
what?
like ice skates, just pushed him around.
There's a million of them. Yeah.
Just shucking
Not even
bags
in
of
the
rice.
league. They're just over there, just moving whole buildings.
So is that because I feel like when you're a strong kid, the track and field people probably find you, right?
I fell into it. It was a weird thing. Like I was a theater kid. I was a nerdy actor kid, and then family was always very athletic. Like dad, baseball at Mississippi State, cousin played basketball for Ole Miss, sister was going into like collegiate basketball, played it for a few years, and I just didn't do it. And then I think going into junior year or something like that, I had some baseball tryout that I had no interest in. And then some douchey kid's like, you should go out for track. Everyone makes the team. And I did, and it worked out pretty well. I mean, I think I gained 75 pounds in a year and a half.
Jeez.
Yeah, I got on to a national team early on. So it went from nothing to you're training with like Russian guys 6 hours a day and like eating all you can eat
You
barbecue
just have like
every night.
chalk in your pockets, and
Yeah.
you just constantly
Chalk and
fucking-
like ammonia
perestroika.
tablets, and you'd crack them under your nose and throw yourself under a weird amount of weight. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something.
Everything was in kilograms. You told the guys that talk like this. Come on, man. You never put needle in your ass?
You got Russian face. You have good
I have Russian face, very Republican bone structure on here.
When Tasha gets a call from her agent to do a hammer throw for an audition she'll have, I'm going to call you. We're going to figure this out.
Well,
'Cause
it is not a marketable thing. I mean, you get up into the echelons of it and you realize like no one really cares about throwing a metal ball far. The only commercial there's ever been with a hammer throw, there was this Japanese Romanian hammer thrower named Koji Murofushi, and he went to the Olympics for Japan. And I don't know if you've ever seen Japanese commercials. They don't follow along the mainstream. So this was like a commercial for like ramen noodles. And they have this guy with like the big blob of yeast in his hand, and he's going through the wines, and he's turning it on every turn. He's like, yeah! Just like noises you'd never make. And then on every turn, it just shreds into finer and finer ramen, and then he releases it and then throws the noodles into this giant ball of ramen. And that was the
Tasha.
commercial. There was no explanation.
I'm so hungry right now.
Let me tell you
I'm
something.
Salivating.
She's gonna have to have ramen tonight.
Well, happy to
Because
help.
just you mentioning that, it's gonna be. She's obsessive with
I
like
can't
her
wait.
ramen.
Oh, yeah?
Noodles. I'm so pumped about this, and I think I'm gonna have to YouTube that commercial too. It
Oh,
sounds
it's
like
Koji
a work of art.
Murofushi ramen commercial. I mean, Japanese people, the Japanese film and television industry, they're doing something right.
Dude, I said this the other day. Every person I trust, my mechanic, my doctor, my dentist, and my vet are all Asian guys. They're
Yeah.
fucking great, man. It's who I trust. I don't want a white person touching my teeth, my dog, or my carburetor. Do I have a carburetor? I don't know if I have a carburetor. I don't want it. I trust the Asians. If there's a Japanese guy telling me what kind of ramen to eat, well, I'm in. I'm all in.
Oh, yeah. I get that. Dude, like, so my last name's Loe. So when you just say it, it sounds vaguely Asian. And my mom was a family practitioner, family physician. So a lot of her clients, like, they'd show up and they were banking on a little Asian guy. And this is this little Protestant woman instead. They feel like they didn't quite get their money's worth.
I know. Well, I guess if it was LOH would be like the Asian version.
Yeah,
right?
it's LOE. It's a weird spelling. No one does
Yeah.
it that way.
Oh, that's the actual spelling, LOE?
Yeah, LOE. Everybody
See?
tries to sneak a W in there because of Rob, and I don't know that dude.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't fuck with Robs, not in this place. Now, this podcast, I know we're going to go all over the place,
Seems
but
nice.
you just came from another podcast and you had a drink there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to compete with other podcasts, but what was their set? Would they have a good setup, or would I'm
It was nice. It was in it was previously Bird's Back Room. Now it's something
okay, it
else.
was over there. All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, pretty.
But no rooftop,
no rooftop. I mean, I'm looking at palm trees now, and
no sun setting over the Hollywood Hills.
no, I
in
mean,
plain
it's
sight.
not a contest, but if it were, I mean, she didn't offer me a LaCroix.
Well, let me tell you something. Speaking of drinks, Tasha's she couldn't drink for a couple years because of her Lyme disease. She's on medicine. We don't need to get
Oh.
into it because every episode it turns into a whole thing. But Tasha, you can always expand on it. But there is a sliver of a window where her doctor said she can drink between medicines where it won't be sick for her. So you're allowed to today.
Tomorrow, technically, but I feel like I can have a sip.
But here's the deal. I was gonna.
I don't want to trigger the host's Lyme disease.
Well, it's not. No, it's not. It's more of just the medicine's gonna work fine. So you're okay. But I was gonna get some beers out of the fridge, which I didn't have. But I got a new setup here, so I was hoping we could do some
Oh, yeah.
Malibu rum, which would
good,
be
something
nice.
to go with my jean shorts.
But we've had a whole thing here. I was like, I didn't really know how I wanted to do this,
Oh
but
my
I
God.
brought.
oh,
Are
you
you
got
for
the
real?
blender
Setup
bullet.
here,
Look
so-
at you.
I thought maybe that Tasha could help me out here.
Look at
Are
you.
you
And,
kidding me?
What a host.
That's our clean ice.
Got
Tasha,
the bags.
I need Tasha's help here, but I don't really
Oh,
know.
are we? Oh, we're
I
doing
didn't
this.
know we were
So we're gonna
doing
do-
hard liquor.
Well, it's not hard. Malibu rum's not hard liquor.
Hey, I Ubered here. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah. So Tasha, you
All right.
give me.
I'll
We can make a few servings of this, but give me like
I'm gonna go do a mic after this. It's
Give
gonna
me
be
like
fun.
60% of the. You don't have to be too clean. We're gonna disinfect it with the rum. Okay, here. Go for it. This is what
this
the
is
audience.
amazing.
I think the audience appreciates visual things.
I think a lot of people underestimate how funny handling Ziploc bags looks.
And Tasha's being way too kind with it. Okay, let's go with that on the ice, and then help me out with the
Oh,
race.
speaking of icy, look at that ring.
I got some.
She pouring that ice and showing that ice.
Yeah,
blinging out here.
we did the smart thing. We got engaged right before the quarantine. So
Oh,
we're still
lovely.
together. Rent's cheap. You got to stay together with the cheap rent.
You got to stay together with the cheap rent. You've already bought the rock, and now it's.
It's just a waiting game for a vaccine till we can get married. 5 years, maybe.
well, I don't know. This is a great rooftop.
Let me tell you something. I wasn't perfected on the recipe, so I've got some options here. You take care of that. I've also got. I didn't know. Do bananas go in this shit? I didn't want to be super gross about it.
I don't
But
know.
I know you're like a fit guy, so I figured. But maybe. But I didn't want to make it like.
But there's too much ice. There's no room for this.
You think there's a little too much ice?
You're gonna have to like.
No. It needs the ice. Hold on.
Oh, look at that. The
milk.
coconuts.
That's
It's gonna be good.
Oh, I'm about to get hydrated.
okay. So maybe we'll have to do a courtesy blend before we add the rest. So let's do a quick courtesy blend, and I'll keep this going, and hopefully we can keep this conversation going here. But
Oh, yeah.
I always think it's funny that there might be like someone who thinks we like aren't really on a roof, like we add like a helicopter for post or something.
Look at that. That sounds.
That's a good setup.
That's amazing.
That's a good setup. Yeah, that's a little. No, that's a pretty good setup. Oh, we didn't add the alcohol, obviously.
Or the strawberries.
So let's do this. You help me with the alcohol. You got the alcohol?
No.
Here, you help me with the alcohol so I
Okay.
can keep this conversation going. And so you were a theater guy who got, because I would have in another life been a theater guy. Like I was a band geek, which is like theater adjacent.
Oh yeah,
I think we share this. I think band geeks and theater people get
What was your instrument?
play saxophone, bro. I don't fuck
Ooh.
around. I don't fuck
Feel you,
around.
man. I didn't know
played it
you
all.
were a reed guy.
Oh man, woodwind represent. I did it all. Alto, tenor. I did tenor in jazz, alto in concert, and then I would do baritone sax in a marching band because we were light on the tubas. So your boy had to kick it up there.
I did band for 1 year. I was the keyboard. So that means you only got to do the bass line. So it was like bum, bum, bum. Did it for 1 year, and at the end of the year, the director signs my yearbook. Good job this year, Ryan. Keep up the good work. And then I didn't go back.
It needs a little more Malibu rum.
A little bit?
Just a little bit more rum. We have enough for a couple servings here, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, the thing is with percussive instruments, I call it percussive because I'm flexing.
Oh, I see you, dude. I watched Whiplash. Fuck with me.
Oh, I love Whiplash. The thing is like you might have the whole song, like take Sleigh Ride. If you're the guy who's got to hit the fucking cymbals at the end,
There's some power behind that.
yeah, that's the instrument. Tasha that wasn't a horse, everyone. I know you thought a horse just came. That was Tasha.
This is a crazy rooftop. There's horses,
Can you believe it?
helicopters.
I just slipped the thing. But yeah, if your job, let me tell you something. 75% of the time, you fuck that up. You don't do it on time because it's like boom,
You're
crack.
just waiting around, spacing out the whole time.
'Cause you got the
was
horse guy
percussion
in the-
too. After 1 year of French horn, which was very
Oh,
bad,
wow.
I switched over to
They
percussion.
demoted you. They demoted you. They're like, just give her the fucking cymbal.
At least you weren't you didn't go full triangle.
Well, we had to do it all. There
Oh,
were like
okay.
3 girls in percussion, so like one person would be on the bass drum, one person would be doing,
Clean the ear. You
Okay.
hold that for me. I
Yes,
clean these
baby.
up. We're going full plastic.
Look
here.
at you.
We got it. We broke out the. Now these are small glasses.
No, it has the light.
Oh, do the light?
Oh, the battery.
Oh, the light. The battery's dead. Sorry,
the
folks.
light
We
up.
ruined it for you. The battery's dead here. Here, you do the pouring. I'm a little. I'm all hands here. So we'll get you. I'm gonna go. I'll get you the fashionable one. I'll just go with the plastic, the other plastic here, and then Tasha can take this one. And let me know. We can add. We can subtract. Whatever.
looks
we got.
delightful.
We got other fruits.
Strawberry garnish.
Oh, there you go. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry to bring this late to the game here. I thought I had more. Did I not have more bags?
You got umbrellas. I'm gonna freak.
Did I not bring out more bags? Oh, I must have left it. I had garnishes I made, guys.
You made garnishes?
Yeah, I left them downstairs. I had little pineapple wedges. I was
Look
gonna
at this.
fuck
10
me.
out of
I forgot. I
10.
can't believe I'm so mad. I forgot to garnish. Here, you take it with your hand.
It's the thought that counts.
Take the garnish with your. There you go. That way you have that. And oh, nice. And we'll get some more over here.
Oh, man.
Here, this one's yours. You pour yours, and you can go sloppy on mine. You just-
Luxury.
Yeah, this is this is a special event because we usually just throw it tecate at our guest, but you got to live a little bit during the
Oh,
pandemic.
man. Is it because I wore shorts to the last show we did together?
That's it. I was like, this guy knows how to fuck. This guy, Tasha. That's how we met. Well, is that it? Did you get some for yourself?
Yeah.
You poured me a real solid glass here.
Yeah,
I got more. We'll blend some more in a couple minutes here. We'll get into the next segment
Get a strawberry version
with some more
after
blending.
this.
I'll put this down here for now. Yeah, that's how I'm trying to just step up the game. Big pandemic energy is what I would like to call this.
I see
You know,
it. I
cheers.
see it. You're
Thanks
living
for
your
showing
best
up.
life.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh,
How we doing on alcohol here? Is this are these levels okay? Feel free if there's. Let me just make sure there's enough for the second round. We'll kill that on the next round.
Oh my gosh.
We've had this We've had this Malibu rum sitting on top of the fridge for God knows. It's been up on the top of the fridge for so long it had like a grease film on the outside.
Oh, really?
You know
Sitting
that?
too close to the stove.
Yeah, just got like bacon grease for it. Like if we ever starve to death, you could just lick this bottle.
Yeah, one comic comes over with a little bit of frat boy energy. You break out the Malibu.
You really are rocking the jean shorts though, and
Right? These are
I'm
my
digging
father's.
it.
These are pure.
Are these real vintage?
These are
Truly
from the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have Nickelback vibe.
Oh.
And I don't mean that in a negative way.
I think you do. I think you might.
I've not heard anybody
I've never
say
heard the
Nickelback
positive
in
way. I was like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, like Nickelback.
They're the type of band that gets way too much shit for how good they've done.
I want you to take a look at me. I want you to ask yourself, has this man ever worn leather wrist cuffs? The
I don't
answer's
know.
no.
Maybe for hammer throwing. You never know if you need a
You'd have to wear a glove made out of moose skin.
moose skin.
Well, the good ones.
What type
Feel
of
bad
like
for the moose.
where on the
You're
body
balling.
like where on the body of the moose is the optimal moose skin glove?
I think it's mid shaft.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm
And
not
it just
positive.
slides just like a good.
Well, there
like
was this
on
one
like a
guy
dip.
who made the best ones, and he was like the soup Nazi in that Seinfeld episode. He was notorious for like all the high level, like Olympic hammer throwers and stuff. They'd want to get their gloves from this guy, but if you did anything to offend him, he'd never give a glove to you or anybody that you ever coached. And he was a raging alcoholic. So I got mine, and there was like a stain on it that just reeked of gin. I'm like, all right, I got the genuine article.
Oh, that's a good one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice one. You know, yeah, you said like a soup Nazi. That's one of those words you could never put into a TV show. Can you imagine saying a soup Nazi on TV
That's
now?
what it's from. Oh
No,
yeah. Oh
I
okay.
totally get it, but I just can't imagine in today's world that would be like those. You've got Jerry Seinfeld and what's his face, Larry David, right?
Yeah.
You've got two Jewish men create a TV show, and they use soup Nazi as like a fictional Nazi character who's a Nazi for soup. He wasn't actually a German guy. He was just like a Middle Eastern soup guy, but they called him the soup. Actually, that I said fictitious, but I think it was made after a certain character. Where are you going, Tasha? Are you getting a jacket? All right, Tasha's getting a jacket. You already spilled on your pants? What a lightweight. Jesus Christ, Tasha.
I'd like to think that people could still say soup Nazi now if the context was correct.
I do as well, and I push back in the ways that I can against what you should be able to say.
Right.
But I think people are so this is why everything's going to like privatize. Like pretty soon you're going to just be producing TV shows on Patreon, where you can just say soup Nazi, because the mainstream like corporate TV it's only a couple companies really, and then all the risk is done on like premium cable or Netflix. Netflix is, but even then there's plenty of comics that Netflix won't fuck with, that they're just like, nah, they'll go for some.
But all
safe
those
route.
guys now, they're just putting their own specials out on YouTube, and they're finding other options. Like a lot of comics now are not necessarily feeding at the Netflix teat as much as they were like 3 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Mark Norman's special is at 2.6 million right now.
Amazing.
So that's
Great
probably
special.
Probably made 15.
Comedy.
Yeah, comedy. There you go. It's probably made like 20, 50. I don't know how much money off of YouTube ads, but more than it would have made on Comedy Central, which is why these networks are going under, because they've taken the risk out of the game. They've just spoon-fed people kind of garbage for so long.
Yeah.
You got to go to like streaming services. We were talking about this the other day when we watched Palm Springs, this movie on Hulu. Have you seen this movie?
No, I saw the previews.
Andy Samberg. Someone said it sucked.
Didn't seem like it did much. I just saw it. I was like, eh.
Someone said it sucked, so I was like hesitant to watch it.
It was fine. It was one of those like easy.
No. It was better than fine.
It was good?
Yeah.
It was. They had comedic.
I mean, it wasn't groundbreaking,
No,
but it was fun and entertaining. We were entertained.
It was cute.
They had like lines that you knew were either not written, or like you could tell like they probably did 30 takes to get to this genius weird thing, and they kept it in. And like like in film and editing, it's hard to like keep something in or something weird. And like and in some of these instances in the movie, they could have been misses, but I thought it was fucking great. And the premise wasn't like anything off the wall. It was kind of like a remake of Groundhog's Day, but
you could tell that they were
Groundhog's Day
having
at
fun
a
with
wedding.
It didn't feel like just some churned out Sweeney Todd
Cookie
gulp
cutter.
like goop.
Not to me. I was
So
dying.
you went cookie cutter. I went the opposite. I was like meat pies, just grinding the comedy like bodies.
We're a food themed.
But
podcast.
5 years ago, Hulu would have just been some shit reality show that Hulu was basically my DVR, and Netflix was the only one. But now Hulu's got some real shit. I'm like, first of all, I feel like everyone wants to go Netflix first because their platform's way bigger than I think they're even letting on. They're just it's incredible, right? So I go, that means Palm Springs must have been passed up by Netflix, or Hulu was owned and operated by NBC Universal. I don't know if they're still owned by them, but maybe Andy Samberg with his NBC contract had to deal with Hulu. Who knows? But either way, I'm like, this is fucking great. And how many projects are out there that are like badass, bold choices that don't get made because they don't have like an Andy Samberg like fronting it. You
sold me, man. I'm gonna watch this Andy Samberg movie.
Well, but I was like confused because sometimes you'll get high and you'll be like, "Was this good?" And I posted on Facebook. I was like, "Someone told me it sucked, but I really dug it." And then people came out of the woodwork and like, "Thought it was great. Watch it with my wife. We laughed the whole time." And I was like, "Good," because sometimes as comics, you can be a little snobby, but I also like my humor is simple. Like there's plenty of movies that might not have passed that I love.
Oh, funny's funny. Funny's funny. Like the comics who do that are the worst. One's just like, well, it just didn't take them long to get there. I'm like, sometimes it's fun when the road's short.
Yeah. Well, someone was arguing with me last night that Theo Von wasn't funny, and I was like, look, if you don't think Theo Von's funny, he might not be your style.
Yeah.
But like I've seen him go into rooms that he doesn't belong performing in and leveling.
Yeah.
In tough, bad rooms, and he's just a very unique person, and it's like. We're all trying to find our individual thing. Like, they used to call it like your Danny DeVito. Everyone said Danny DeVito, like this guy's never going to work. He's 4'10". Well, that's the reason he works.
Yeah, I was like, have you ever greased him up and had him crawl out of a couch?
Yeah, but like if you try to, like I used to have a roommate that in, no offense to people that get extensive plastic surgery, but I had a roommate, he got his nose done and he took away his leading thing, which was Jewish best friend. He's a Jewish guy, and his thing is he would have been.
He had an Owen Wilson nose.
I'll go with more so American Pie. He had an American Pie nose.
But there were a lot of characters in that movie, friend.
Well, what's the main guy's name? The guy
who
fucks the pie?
Yeah.
I've said too many it's Jewish guys' names that I'm forgetting.
I don't know.
Anyway, the guy who fucks the pie, the main American Pie guy.
Not Andy Samberg had that crazy nose.
But there's a million people that. By the way, that in and of itself, people were worried it was going to bury his career because who fucks a pie? And it was his big
Champions.
break. And him and his manager said, "Let's go with fucking the pie."
Yeah.
And that's a great story because that was like when you would test it out with 15 or 20 people, and he had this story where like he passed a VHS to his buddies to watch, not like like if you ever like perform something and like you're watching your friends watch it and like they just fucking died laughing. But, you don't know if the pie came out in the edit. You don't know how it's gonna come out.
It's like, that would have been great if it just fell flat and it was just that was the end of the movie. It's like, do you believe you fucked that pie?
Yeah, now he's the pie guy for the rest of his life. But in the end, it worked. Now,
it worked for the rest of the American Pie movies, but then what happened?
Well, now he was on Orange is the New Black, and he's actually.
That's right. He was the Orange is the New Black guy.
There's 50 people yelling at us.
I liked him in that.
There's 50 people yelling at us his name right. Jason Biggs.
Jason Biggs. You don't know the stuff that Jason's been through.
Jason Dog. Come on, Jason Dog. I got to reset the cameras, but so you're new. You're new person here. You're new to town from San Francisco.
Yeah.
You moved to LA during a global pandemic.
Sure
Let's
did.
explain that one.
Well, I mean, it was weird. The COVID happened, and in San Francisco, everybody is very woke. That's where that feel in the United States. It kind of starts in San Francisco and then radiates out. And but it started there. So everybody, when the pandemic hit, it was maybe one day of people like kind of frolicking, but it did feel very much like the first scene of a disaster movie. Everybody was having too much fun.
Okay.
It's like when you see everybody at the beach and they're having fun time yelling over each other, and then here comes the wave. And then everybody hunkered down and freaked out, and it's techie people who didn't want to be around people anyway. So the majority of the population was like, we're going to stay sequestered, we're going to stay in. So all the shows went away, all the mics went away, it was all Zoom. There's a few people, like Pam Benjamin over at Mutiny Radio, did a great job of like continuing to have like outdoor stuff in front of her radio station so comics could still have an audience. There was just like 30 or so people out in the street, but that all shut down. And then the video gigs that I was getting, the video production gigs, were slow. So it's like I do some freelance stuff here and there. I took a couple with me when I came down, but for the most part, I figured, people in LA don't care about anything. And I came down, and sure enough, no, everybody's walking around with their chest out and just like, how am I going to wear a mask? How am I going to be seen if I'm wearing a mask?
Yeah, well, this is the time to get your
break.
Yeah, this is the time you get your lips done. You get your face done, you put the mask on, and this is it. This is the time. But you're also in West Hollywood, which is kind of a unique world within
sure is, bud.
California. Everyone goes, oh, this fucking California Hollywood energy. It's like, no. Every square mile in LA is a different type of people.
It's a million cities in this city.
A million cities in this city, and then also the county is a whole nother thing. People are like, oh, this is a very red state. This isn't the most liberal state, but in certain areas it is. Anyway, I
found it.
Yeah, so you're in but West Hollywood, and of course West Hollywood.
I figured, like, where is San Francisco in LA?
Yeah, and that's it. You literally took the pipeline, the Elon Musk pipeline.
Yeah, I was just like, it eased the transition. Nothing was different,
Now, you're a straight guy, right?
Yeah, but I like compliments.
Yeah, well, I'll give it to you, baby. At my age, we'll take what we can get. But you, obviously West Hollywood is the cliche is that it's a very, it is where all the gay bars are. It's kind of like,
it's gay Mecca.
What's like the cliche gay bar name, like Saddlebacks, or there's a couple on Santa Monica Boulevard that are just like Tin Man's Balls. Like there's some real.
There's one in Atlanta called Swingin' Richards.
There you go. Yeah, they don't.
I always liked that one. I was like, that's a funny name. I never went in there, but it seemed like a great spot.
Gay guys know how to name their fucking bars.
Oh yeah, there's no tiptoeing around the euphemism
because like
in the gay community.
Women want they go spiritual, like sage, like my place, floral dreams. Like is it? But the guys are like wrecking balls. Like that's it. And you're like, well, that's the one we're going to. You just know, like guys.
The crispy crinkle.
Yeah, exactly. Just like,
I'm still hungry.
Nathan's Lane, just right into it. You go right for it.
That'd be great. I could hear him voicing the promos for that.
Blow low, just a whole right in there. But yeah, because straight guys would get laid more if women thought like them. But women are the pickers for the most part. There's always there's an exception to every rule. There's people out there where whatever.
Seller's market for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I look at other, everyone's got different privileges, right? I look at we were talking about the Japanese culture earlier. These dudes got a fucking raw deal because Japanese women, everyone has there's a Japanese or just an Asian in general sort of kink all over the world.
It's a strange spot. Yeah, it's a weird dominating thing. Like it can't be as fun for the women over there.
But there's too many guys. Is it in Japan where there's too many guys to girls, so they literally have to audition?
China, because of the one-child policy.
Okay, so I'm in the wrong continent.
They have So now
I
they
think
have
it translates to Japan.
A surplus of men in China because all of the families wanted a male child. So now women are so high priced, they have the pick of who they want to pick.
The psychological differences, when we were talking about this the other day, when I had a buddy who went to Stonehill College and he got all these chicks because it was 2-to-1 girls to guy ratio. So the second there aren't other options, things change.
Right.
The second you come from San Francisco, I'm sure the ladies can spot the fucking venture capitalists with the $1 billion right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
That guy's cleaning up. He's on the spectrum.
Not really. Here's the thing about San Francisco people. They have a lot of the man in San Francisco, but the majority of them, even those guys included, have this fucking finance bros mentality about it, because it's a lot of Haight-Ashbury stuff, girls very Coachella-y, very they know a lot about astrology.
But whose boats are they going on? They're going on somebody's
go on
boat.
the boat, but they're gonna complain about it. It's I went on this fascist boat the other day. You went, yeah, I blew him, but it was a wild. I hated every second of it. It ran on orphans' tears.
Fascist boat. I was thinking, boat names are just like gay bars with good titles.
Oh yeah.
You can't have a boat without having a slamming good boat name.
That's
that's the one thing you need.
That's Christendom for full-blown dad pun, because if you can't pun out your boat name, take off the braided belt, friend. You're not one of us.
Yeah. You can't. If you don't have a good boat name, it's gonna sink in a hurricane. Hurricanes know how to pick off boats with bad names.
Oh, absolutely. Stacy's Eyes. Guess what? Hurricane. Deal with it, Stacy's Eyes.
I like the fascist floater, and it's just a fucking yacht.
Yeah.
They're blowing the guy. They're gonna blow him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they'll complain about it. But then you got guys like Dan Bilzerian, right? Who apparently his company's going under.
He never made any money with it.
Because his deal was, right, he's renting this place for $100,000 a month or something.
Yeah.
It could be 50, it could be 250, but what's the difference when it's just these numbers? But his whole marketing idea was, if you can show off this baller lifestyle, people are going to buy the product. And don't get me wrong.
I think you're making it out like this is some kind of master plan. I feel like a lot of you's like, well, what he was really doing was, no, I don't think it's that. I think daddy gave him a whole lot of money. And then people asked him, where'd you get that? And he's like, I play poker. I figured it out, dude.
Yeah.
And then it's just billions and billions of dollars, probably not billions, millions and millions of dollars, funneling into all these IG videos. I mean, the dude wrote a book this year.
Yeah.
And then went on IG and said, hey, guys, could you help me name my book? He offered like $50,000 for somebody who's never read anything.
He did the same with his brand logo, where like he'll kind of like crowdsource it and then and then hook someone up that way.
Yeah.
Which is like someone gets paid for it, right? But yeah, no, we know a few chicks, right, that are like his Bilzerian.
Oh yeah,
or whatever.
They have the.
You know, some girls that have.
You call them goat. You call them goat girls.
Circle.
Goat
Well,
girls.
speaking of like the
Isn't this thing a goat?
What?
Isn't the logo like a goat?
Oh, it's like that devil goat, horny goat or whatever. Yeah, it's.
What do you
got
call
that-
them? What do you call Bilzerian girls? Goat girls or like?
I like goat girls.
I don't know if they'd like it. I don't know.
Blazarian Bimbo didn't have the PR.
It's got a little bit of spice to it. Maybe we want to keep these women empowered.
Some of these girls, no, we even know. I mean, don't make me bleep this out, but we know some people that have dated them, right? We know. Look, we're not.
We're not.
Will you
naming
stop?
names.
Hey, could you stop airing my dirty laundry on the podcast,
But if
please?
we can talk about it if we don't name names. I'm not going to mention anything about her. She's a lovely lady. She really is a sweetheart. And I'm not calling her a bimbo at all. I'm not. She's a sweetheart. We like her a lot. But some of the other chicks that we know, like your friend's brother dated a girl. Like we know we've been with. Like it's one thing when you see some chicks like tits in your face. I mean, his Instagram, these tits are in your face. Like your phone, they jump out at you. And then I'm like, we were on a boat with her last year.
Yeah, I recognize those tits.
Oh, Nathan, everybody. We can end the podcast there. I recognize those tits. That should be the merch we sell. I recognize those tits.
I recognize those tits. Hey,
I just want to live in a world where a guy can recognize a girl's tits. You didn't, and I hate
without sounding like a monster. I'm a monster now because I remember something about you.
It's almost like looking at somebody's photos and like, oh, I went to Rome. Did you go? Oh, I recognize that. Yeah, I recognize those tits.
Yeah, come on. I'm not demeaning you, but it's like seeing a bridge.
I hate the idea that people go, well, I didn't get these. I didn't get this for you. It's like, not for me, but I think people get that type of work done because they do want to be noticed.
Oh yeah.
Tasha's looking at me like she's gonna murder me.
You're walking a fine line.
Would you ever
honey.
get tits like that?
I don't know.
You don't need tits like that.
I dated a girl in college. Like her parents bought her boobs when she was like 19.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Strange. Could you imagine buying your daughter breast implants?
Well, I'll tell you this. I knew a girl, Nikki. Probably should have bleeped it. Probably gonna have to. minute 30. I say you're really halfway through a syllable, and you're like, "Bruh, this is gonna be Googleable." She was a Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader, and her and her two sisters, so 3. That's 6 boobs. They all got boobs done at the same time from a family friend. So like they all
nice.
They got the Groupon, the Groupon. They got the Groupon
bulk
deal.
discount.
Yeah, they got the Costco deal. But I don't know. I was never. I mean,
it's the same reason some people get their nose done. Some people, are wildly insecure, or I shouldn't say wildly insecure, but some people are.
I mean, I'm learning a lot about it. I've become very sympathetic to it. When I was in San Francisco, I lived with 3 girls, and I don't have any brothers. I was, my mom and sister growing up, and then some of my edit gigs, I actually cut and edit med spa procedures. So I'm learning a lot about some of the creepy stuff that y'all do.
So like you're in like a 4K image video of someone getting like what sort of shit
anything and everything under the sun, buddy.
What's the grossest
Botox.
thing you've had to like Do you
know what like a blood mask is?
Oh, the vampire.
The vampire thing. It's they take a lot of little needles and they just hamburger up your face.
It's like micro needling, except that they're re-injecting.
Hold on, let me mansplain this real quick. Let me mansplain it, and then you can get into it. You can get in your 2 bits here. This is what women are doing. They take the blood out of your face and they centrifuge it to separate the plasma from the blood, and then they rub your blood back on your face.
The good, healthy plasma.
Yeah, like this company, they do a thing on Halloween. They have like a party, and they dress up as like vampires and give out little Jello shots that look like blood. It's creepy.
Wow.
If I'm pouring our second round of drinks here. Just gonna kick that.
Che fabuloso.
Well, it's Los Angeles when you kicked the coconut beverage.
Oh, man.
We're partying, folks. And I'm just going to I'll add some of these strawberries to the blend.
Okay.
Let's add these to I don't know if it's going to come out a good color or not.
You know what? I don't really care as much about the aesthetics.
Well, I always
I
like
don't.
to.
Yeah, I know. Garnish guy. We know.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I got frozen pineapples upstairs. I cut the little slit into them. I kind of want to go run and get them.
No, that's
not worth getting it.
It's
I also
cold
had cut limes. So I could have a lime and a pineapple garnish. Fuck,
Like
guys.
nice and thinly sliced.
I just want you to know I was really going for it here.
Dude, I believe you.
I don't want to get that water in there. Hold on, let me dump this water out. Here, someone carry the combo.
So what else? Tell me some of these other procedures that you've seen. I really like that gruesome stuff.
Oh, it's weird. It's interesting. It's I don't know. I'm like being the guy and trying to be sensitive. The weirdest part for me for editing is when the doctor is pointing out a flaw. Like I always thought that was just kind of messed up. And like this part of your face could be a little more feminine. And I was like, whoa, Jesus.
And they're like nodding, but on the inside they're like,
please cut this.
But the deal is that it's not get tits. Like it's not that. It's when you see the person who went 3 steps too far, tried to fix it. We all know, like, there's a comic in LA. She's been on Botched. Like, she went to Mexico to get it done cheaper and fucking ruined her face. Like Tasha, like if Tasha, you have a beautiful face. You also have the credit to be able to ruin it. You know what I mean? Like, that's scary to think that you could ruin your face.
Well, here's the thing. If you have something about your body that bothers you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing what you can to improve that so that you feel better about yourself. But taking those extra steps, because you will walk into the doctor's office and they will do that to you. They will say, oh, do you want to do this while you're at it? Oh, do you want to do that? You'll come back
like
in
going
for
to the
your
mechanic.
follow-up visit.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they're going to try and upsell you. And, it's like, got to make sure that you're
It's
doing
like,
the inner
you're
work
actually
too.
way uglier than we originally
and
thought.
you gotta pay. That's where, like, with the tits,
now that we've
right?
opened the hood up, I think, yeah, your face, like, the right side doesn't even look like the left side. How did we not see this in the first meeting?
But it sounds funny. Sorry to cut you off. It sounds funny because, like, it's like, how dare these guys decide what? But it's like, well, men, we appreciate your beauty so much. Like, I can't tell you how much where Tasha or any other girl, like, that thinks something about them's ugly, and it's like there's a billion guys that want to look at that right now.
Oh yeah, but here's the thing. I also edited videos of guys doing it.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, fixing the crow's feet, doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a guy that's like kind of famous for being like a Ken Barbie that like is
but he's all
Rodeo
shiny.
Drive.
He looks shiny though.
Yes,
he looks very shiny.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, like, when you show up to these places, you pay for like a certain amount of CCs. So like, if you're going to get your tits done and you want to go from a B to a small C, that upsell to the double D isn't that much money. You're already cutting in there.
It's not that big a leap.
But that's the risk.
And what, you think that's going to be maybe 6-8 more drinks a month? It's going to come back around to you. You're going to get that paid for.
You're going to get that paid for. If you're a bartender, with fake boobs, you're going to...
Or if you're just a person with fake boobs. I don't know. I don't think
that's why they need, like, you need smart fake tits, where you could, like, get an app that's like, all right, I'm on my bartending shift, and it's like... And then, you can...
Oh, dude. Oh, what was that? Stepford Wives? You remember that with the remote control?
Jump over here. We're trying to do our second pour. Sorry. It's hard. It's so hard with these mics to try to talk and pour at the same time.
Okay.
Here, let me get that
Wow.
Look at that.
We're going to see this in 2.7K.
Unity.
That's it. Actually, I'm only 1080p. This is a pretty low res. Did you want another one?
Sure. You can just cut me off. I haven't finished.
I didn't get a buzz from that
I'll
first
get
one.
some
Oh,
pink.
you're nursing this.
Babe,
Everyone look at
I haven't
Tasha
had
right now.
hard liquor in 2.5
It's
years.
not hard liquor.
That's delightful.
It's not hard liquor. Oh, that's beautiful.
All right. Whoa.
All right, so we got enough for a second round here, or a third round, so got a nice helicopter overhead.
That is tasty.
So that's an interesting, I guess, it's only facial work, because I used to drive Uber, and I remember driving some lady to get her a labiaplasty. Is that what it's called? Labiaplasty?
That is what it's called.
Wow, you actually nailed the
That's when you don't like how that looks.
She was getting her labias clipped.
Wouldn't that affect your ability to orgasm?
Well, if it's done correctly. I guess there's risk involved with any procedure.
Let me talk about this in a way you'd understand. You're a theater arts guy. Her curtains are too far closed.
Oh, now I get it.
So she just needs to trim the curtains so they close.
Was it because it's velvet? Was that why we got there?
Well, that's all the labia is the curtains to the show.
Real? Oh,
Right?
so it's like it's
Tasha's looking at me like I think I'm not.
if you're not circumcised, I always imagine that would be kind of like a curtain rising.
But at least
like
that is an added.
welcome to the show.
The trumpet plays.
Yeah.
I think when you're not circumcised, the trumpet plays. The Longhorns.
I think people usually just scream and run.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like Dune very much.
American guys get it bad. I'm circumcised, which I shouldn't have to say that,
Ditto.
but it's okay. That's where we are. But it is male genital mutilation. It's a weird thing. Like I would have to come to terms with having a kid and wondering if you do that.
The sound just went out.
Oh, your sound went out? It might be.
Yeah, I got nothing in my headphones.
It's your headphones. Now. Let's see what it is. Hold on. You're
here.
The headphone is actually in there. If you just flip Tasha, can you just open this rug a little bit? You'll see it.
Oh.
That's the connector. If that's not it, then you might just have to go no headphones.
It cut out.
Oh,
again.
there! I heard it for a second.
Can't hear yourself?
I cannot hear
You're on
anything.
4.
Is it something I'm doing on my end?
No, your audio's good, so it's the headset. So which one, Tasha? Which one's 4 here? It might just be the shittiest.
Oh, there we go.
You got it?
Yeah, I just came back.
Oh, there you go.
All right. We just won't touch anything. Great.
Wunderbar.
If you
Everybody
listen-
stay very still.
Nobody move here. Yeah, so I don't know.
What would you do if we had a son?
I would want to look at. Well, let me tell you this.
Not fit in.
My cousin, but it's also like our kids. I think the rates of circumcision has gone down so much in the last 10 years or so. It's like a whole thing. I don't know too much about it, but I had a cousin he wasn't circumcised because when he was born, he was there was something wrong with him. Like he was not a premature, but there was something wrong. So when he was 18 or 19, he got circumcised, and he had to I'm recovering from stitches on my hand where I couldn't bend my hand. This dude, if you get a boner right after you just don't do it. Can't get a boner.
That's when you start meditating.
You gotta fucking meditate.
You gotta control
Bible.
your emotions.
Yeah.
You must control your heart rate. You can't get too excited.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's possible at 18 for an 18-year-old boy.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what,
boners.
if he got through that, he could get through anything.
Do you remember that Josh Hartnett? This is old school. The Josh Hartnett movie.
40 Days and 40 Nights.
40 Days and 40 Nights. He tries to go 40 Days and 40 Nights.
I remember that. It was set in San Francisco.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And by day 13, he's just looking at
having
chicks,
a meltdown,
and then it's fading to their shirts being off.
Oh yeah,
and you're just seeing tits on a bus, and then he looks again, and they're just up, and I'm watching that.
That's another movie that I'm thinking in 2020 probably wouldn't have gotten.
Oh, he was a good. I'm sorry, I have to rewatch this, but I think Josh Hartnett deserved an Oscar.
He did a great job.
He was showing all his emotions, and he's going nuts, and then I think spoiler for this 28-year-old movie, but I'm pretty sure
there's no way it could have been made today.
She ends up getting him off by putting rose petals on him and blowing the rose petals. I'm coming in my pants watching it.
Was that the chick? Oh gosh, was it the girl from A Knight's Tale?
I have Keira Knightley?
No,
I have no idea.
It wasn't Keira Knightley. It was the chick from A Knight's Tale.
Let me look it up here. Let me look it up real quick.
And she was also in The Law of Attraction.
What's 40 Days and 40 Nights? 40
Yeah.
days
She was amazing. I had such a thing for her. I was that was one of the early ones where I was just oh, I'm straight. It's perfect.
Got 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. Who are these people?
What?
Who are these people?
Cowards.
Matt Sullivan's last big relationship ended in disaster, and ever since his heart's been aching and his commitment's been lacking. Then came Lent, that time of year when everybody gives something up. That's when Matt decides to go where no man's gone before.
It was based in Catholicism.
Yeah, 40 straight days. So it was released in 2002. It really is 18 years old. Wow.
You
That's
said 28,
wild.
Though.
Well, what was the girl's name? What was her name?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm getting there, but it won a Teen Choice Award for.
Lovely.
It was nominated for a Teen Choice Award for chemistry, and it made $95 million in the box office. That was $95 million 18 years ago.
You know why though? Because nobody had anything to do back then except
Yeah.
go to the movies. That was how I spent my high school, was going to Barnes and Noble, Starbucks, and the movies.
Cool, Tasha.
That's it. Right? That's all we did.
Shannon Sossamon.
No.
Shannon Sossamon.
Am I messing this up?
Vanessa Shaw? Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Absolutely not. I'm sorry.
Maggie
I have
Gyllenhaal,
a mild bit of a vendetta against her.
Maggie Gyllenhaal was in it. These are all the people that were in it. 95, yeah, maybe 90.
Gyllenhaal. If it was Maggie Gyllenhaal, I'm gonna have a panic attack because I actually have a bit of a bone to pick with her.
But there was a lot of chicks in the movie, so I don't know which one. Anyway, the cast. So Shannon.
I thought she was the main one, man.
Shannon Sossamon was her name. This is the problem with female leads. Their longevity.
Was she dark haired and had a mole right above her mouth?
That's her, baby.
Oh my, yep, that's her.
What's she doing?
She had this crazy witchy way about her. She was very flowy.
Can you imagine
she did a lot of this kind of stuff with her arms. It was mesmerizing.
Can you imagine getting that role and you're like telling your dad your big break? So it's this guy. He's given up sex for 40 days. I mean, the movie had legs. It was a good premise. It was a good premise for a movie. You know, some people give up fish. He's but if you
it just wouldn't have worked today. Like it was an entire movie based around like, what people now consider is the choice of toxic masculinity. There was like, no, it's a choice. You're making that happen.
Well, there's that weird no nut November that people try to do. I never understood.
No one believes anybody.
It's good not to over jerk off. I was actually looking for a way to weave this into the convo, but I found a porno couple. The girl looks just like
they work together. That's lovely.
They don't show their face, they're French, so you can learn a little French when you watch. They don't show their face, but the girl looks like Tasha, face down, and the guy is skinnier than me with a bigger dick. Okay, so
nice.
It's like watching a better version of what our sex tape would be because the guy's actually delivering.
But it wasn't a pure cockleganger for you.
No.
It wasn't the same.
No, but I appreciate this guy because I'm like, geez, if that was me, you'd see. Because every way this guy bends, he has abs. Like he's just like really skinny, but it looks good on camera. But in real life, he would look like sort of like a Johnny. Like he would look like a Johnny Depp, not Johnny Depp, but like a
little just wiry.
What's the
like a Jared Leto kind of guy.
Yeah. But anyway, this guy
just packing heat. Their
name's Leo Lulu or Leo Lou or something. They've got
I've seen that.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I do, yeah.
That guy's got a hog. He's got a hog.
I try not to look.
But then they threw a curveball because they started they invited a girl into the action. But the girl.
But did they show her face? That's rude.
No, that's the thing. They'll like not show their like their cheekbone up, and then the next shot it'll be like their cheekbone down, and you're like, we know who the fuck you are.
Like, je ne sais pas. No, I'm sorry.
I try so much, but did not blow that.
I do not understand how to flame. I'm very busy. Look at me. I'm perspiring.
They are busy. They're busy fucking. They fuck a lot.
Absolutely. It's the business.
And but they brought this other girl in, and they blurred out her face, and that other girl, they both fingered her, but no one fucked her. So they clearly had rules.
It stayed pure. They had a thing going on.
But then what would happen is then the guy starts fucking his normal girl, and like the third wheel is like fingering herself because she's like kind of like
bored,
waiting for the tip, like hanging out.
She's
like,
swiping on Tinder.
She's just hanging out, and she doesn't. And I'm like, and then my codependency is like, I feel bad for her. Like if I was the camera guy, I'd be like, so are you going home for the holidays? But she's just hanging out, finger blasting herself, like they forgot she was there.
She's like, vous léchez à l'étoile, et ça l'étoile.
She's just
à
like
l'étoile. Oh, chez soi.
2.5. It was really a 2.5. Yeah, but clearly, I don't know. It was interesting. I've been, when the times where I've been trying to introduce Tasha to
You
them.
interested in a vous laissez aller, you sit by yourself while we do this, while we have alone time?
Tasha would be that girl who's like, I'm just pleasuring myself. Fuck you guys. I don't need
That's nice to
but
know.
They
strange.
Yeah, it is strange, but I think I'm okay with it. I think it's fine.
But good for them. They're pursuing a dream.
Yeah, well, they seem to like really seriously. There's a lot of soulless porn out there.
And when they break up, that's gonna destroy that man because he's gonna be able to go back and watch it, and he's never gonna recover.
Yeah,
he's never gonna that is a prenup right there. That video, those videos where there is a prenuptial agreement, because if that ever ends, there's no way he's gonna be able to stop himself from going back and looking at. Because if you look at old photos of a girlfriend, you have video evidence of you making her come 9 times.
Isn't that weird that
you're not going to be like, I was the man and I miss her a lot.
If you leak that, you go to jail. That's revenge porn. But it's porn that they created together. So
exactly.
I wonder if are you allowed to have porn taken down if you created it, if you're a co-creator?
That's literally the whole point. 2 people are involved in porn every time, babe.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what if they break up and they've got millions of followers plus us 2? Could one of them have it taken down? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like that. Anyway, maybe they have broken up. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't because it's crazy money. But we knew a girl.
Do you think there's like a People magazine for them?
There's probably
like a version like they're like the Brangelina of like the.
They are for sure the Brangelina. I am a surface level honestly, it's one of the other than like the celebrity porn people like Ashley Black, right?
Oh, but that'd be a nice celebrity because it's like I don't care about your kids.
I don't know any porn people. We had a porn. We had a a porn actress. What do you call a porn star?
Porn star?
I hate to say star because like, come on, but we had a porn star on before, and like I wouldn't have known who she was beforehand. You know what I mean? But in France, I think they're in Europe in general, they're more open with their sexuality. Where I don't think these people care. I don't even think they care so much to blur their faces out. I just think it's become
well, it's interesting. I mean, like girls like that in that position, I would imagine in the porn industry, even in like stripping and stuff like that. I mean, if you're a comic, you end up meeting strippers. There's a lot of shows that are involved like in strip clubs. And a lot of them tour. They're like touring comedians. They'll go from city to city, and they have like their fan base, and it's probably like being a rock star, except everyone's a groupie. Like, yeah.
No, it's true. They do have, I think it's called VPN, video. It's like the porn awards.
Oh, yeah. Greg Fitzsimmons did a thing for those awards. Like he did a comedy thing.
Kate Quigley is a comic. She hosted them a few years ago. She was on our podcast a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a big deal in porn, you're a big deal in porn. And yeah, you can go on tour just like, strippers go down to Florida for the weekend or whatever. Like, absolutely, you go on tour and people come out to see you.
That's probably so aggressive. I mean, like, think about like rock stars, like even like heyday rock stars. They're having to deal with at most 15 to 20 groupies per show if they're really killing it. But these porn stars are strippers and stuff that are on tour, and they're touring stars. Well, they have to deal with everyone's a groupie.
It's interesting because like Mia Khalifa, I don't know if this is true, but
she said she made like $3,000 or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
Her whole porn career was only like in a 6-month window. But
that was a hard-working girl. Holy cow! She did that in 6 months.
Yeah, she showed up for work for
what
sure.
A soldier.
And but yeah, it's all the money's made on the production end. What's the matter, Tasha? You're all tangled up. You're untangling. Okay. We're are you enjoying your drink here? Yeah. Do you feel buzzed? Feeling okay?
Yeah, I feel good. No, that.
You're just spinning. You're not just spinning from the Lyme disease. That's
that sort of
I think I feel a little lightheaded.
That Mia Khalifa is pretty tragic, though. I mean, it really is. It's fucked up how predatory. Like, the girl
absolutely.
that we had on the podcast, she
Tasha
is really into like women empowerment, and she does like female directed porn. Like, there's a way, and there's definitely a movement happening in porn for like women to take back control of production, take back control of their profits, because traditionally porn, like there's only been like a few sites. Those people make all the money. You get a small cut, your fee for doing the video.
It's all non-union. You get you get $1,000 and they'll make money. They'll put into 15 different Bang Buster videos.
They're not SAG?
This is not a Screen Actors Guild. This is they will be sagging.
I'm new. Well, yeah, but the SAG
their titties.
Definitely changes the target audience once you cross that line.
I like SAG porn.
Yeah, I like SAG porn. It's all in black and white. It's very interesting.
Oh, you respect unions? No, not the guild. I just like a good old person porn.
Just in the background.
There's some comics like you mentioned that like are former porn stars, like in their 50s and 60s.
Oh yeah,
and it's fun. It's fun to hear them talk about it.
I did a show last week with this girl. Gosh, I forgot her name, but she was a play girl, and like her whole set was about how now she just has to sell pictures of her feet. Like she really narrowed it down.
Yeah, it's interesting because with today's world, we talked about OnlyFans. We had a Loe Marie on our podcast. She's a friend of ours from a few weeks ago, and she was debating whether or not to do OnlyFans because she's done topless photography and things like that, but she's not gonna do porn, but she's also like, my body, I should sell it. She signs up for an OnlyFans this past week. Did you see this on her Instagram?
No.
Everyone who's listening knows because they heard her podcast with her. She's been on the podcast a few times. Cute girl, by the way. We should set you up. They'd be a good little blonde couple, right?
Yeah, but I don't think she's dating anyone right now.
Seems like she's dating herself. I've seen some of her work. I'm just kidding.
just
I don't know anything about it.
Anyway, because she's in your age, she's mid-20s, right? Anyway, she signs up for OnlyFans, gets like $500 the first week. And these are subscribers that are probably going to come monthly, and becomes in the top 13% of OnlyFans. I don't know if that's something they tell you, but anyway, the point is, folks, join our Patreon. I'll sell my feet photos.
It's nice. I announced yesterday I just launched my Only Haters.
I saw that.
Only Haters is coming out. If you want to just sling some hate, just watch my stuff. It makes you feel anything. Really, really like, this guy was way funnier on Tinder, or just whatever.
Oh, sorry. We got to fucking hear that.
Yeah, we picked up somebody's radio.
Hold on. What's touching it?
No,
It's gone.
it's some.
That was a fucking Mexican radio station.
No, that was
Even
a distress call.
Yeah,
And that
it's
was
just
the Black
someone's
Mirror
going
episode.
down.
We were just like, no, we're podcasting, dude. And he's like
We're
drowning
busy.
in a river.
That would be so sad if he's like trying to find a runway to land on, but instead he hears us talking about OnlyFans.
Oh, I like the idea of the only haters too, because I was just like, if you follow my unobtainium level subscription, I'll live stream some stuff that would play into the type. I can just work on a coloring book or just fail at simple math.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'd subscribe. I think you would be a good guy for like a girl to pay to be the new guy to make another guy jealous. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean,
that should be like a thing.
it is. Do you remember that movie Good Luck Chuck?
Yes.
I have a little bit of that syndrome. So it's like of my ex-girlfriends, I think 4 or 5 of them are now either married or engaged to NFL players.
Interesting.
It was a weird thing.
So what?
You're the springboard.
Exactly. I mean, it's nice though. It does feel like you're still on the springboard on the way up. I don't feel like the branch that she grabs right before she hits rock bottom. So that's a nice thing.
No, but that's a good. By the way, I always mention the sunset. I totally blew past it today. We didn't even mention.
We were
the
just
sunset.
we were having so much fun.
So much fun. But the sun has set for our audio only listeners.
If it makes you feel any better, I was watching it reflect in your eyes.
Thank you. Yeah, we try to look good in the sunset. We get that good golden hour look. It makes us look a little bit younger. That nice yellow tint to us.
This camera angle is going to be great because I had my legs crossed. So people on the YouTube,
yeah.
you're going to get a good look at the black bottoms of my feet. Dirty hippie feet.
I punched right in on you. I got the you look good. You got
those McConaughey feet, man. We're just out here just hanging out. We got some fucking strawberry drinks or whatever.
Would you be you're a no shoes, no shirt, no problem type of guy?
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
You, me, and the pretty go down to Kilgore text run from. We'll just take it all off, have a good time.
So the ladies are all wet now.
Watch out! There's a flash flood warning in your area.
So
lay
you
down
date-
some sandbags.
You date girls that then date NFL
Move on to
guys,
bigger and
but
better
that
things, yeah.
means that's a good projection for you because once you get to your career success, you've already been validated by you at that level. You've got that sort of.
I was lucky early on to be validated in
Were
that
these
area of my
college
life because a lot of
girls or
times
what?
guys will be their whole life dominated by the idea of like attracting women and doing stuff. And if you're fairly successful in college or you have a good experience, I dated for a year, very, very gorgeous girl. She was Miss Tennessee, lovely person. Then you get that out of your system. You're like, okay, I guess I can just be a person now. I guess I can just live your life.
That's got to be a lot to manage her being a Miss Tennessee.
It was strange, definitely. Yeah.
Because usually the Miss Tennessee is dating like the Tennessee QB or whatever. Who's the one? He is actually on the Bengals. He's the backup quarterback now, but he was a starting quarterback for Alabama. His girlfriend, or I think now they're married or whatever, was like Miss Alabama. Like it's a whole.
I don't know,
that's
man.
Southern
The
pipeline.
girls were all about the track dudes. It's just a hair there. I was gone literally Wednesday to Sunday most weeks, and it was just a nice little.
So what's your what's your move? Like what would be your thing? Is it now just stand up where you meet girls, or
You just have to be a person. I mean, I've gotten to the point in my life where it's not a driving force in anything that I'm doing. It's nice to not have to worry about it. I mean, I'm 27. You grow up in the South, you see so many people get married super young, like very young, like 21, 22, and then they're just miserable.
Miserable.
So, yeah, and it's when it's a priority issue, right? That Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's that early level, that base when you're horny and you're 18, you go like, all right, once I get all this figured out, then I'm going to be happy. That's like, it can't be the motivation. Motivation is just have fun doing what you want to do. And if you are a genuine person and you're enjoying yourself, people hang out around you. That's when you meet cool people.
You're absolutely right. And again, to make this a gender thing, because women are the pickers, I wonder, like Tasha, like I don't think like women can always be picky in an attractive woman or something. You're sort of targeted from a young age, right? Like you're kind of sexualized. We got a hawk flying overhead though. That's pretty cool, right up there. Just like to point out random nature. We have a hawk over here.
That's pretty neat.
I'm trying to talk to you, and a giant hawk's coming my way. This fucking raptor of prey is just coming my way. Talons are out. Anyway, I'm choking on this rum here.
Malibu Rum.
But for guys, you sort of, and again, whether it's a toxic masculinity thing, whether it's this predatory thing, or if it's just a natural innate DNA, procreate, get spread your seed, because there is some DNA to that. But you're kind of taught from an early age to like spread your seed or just keep on dating, meet new ones, get a hot or this, get a that. And at some point you go, you will never be satisfied continuing to find new things to fuck.
No, I mean, without, was it apropos trying to find a God-shaped hole?
Yeah, like
something like that,
yeah.
right? It's just you can't when that's your value system. You're really gonna have a hard time because people are very fine-tuned to bullshit. Like people can like say what you will. If you meet up someone with a high IQ, somebody that can intuit some of your past just by a couple minutes of conversation with you, if that's your main driver, that's going to be blatantly obvious. You see those guys. That's why there's stereotypes. There's why there's jock dudes that night at the Roxbury just twitching, just cum coming out of their eyes. Like somebody like that, you know. It's when you can peg somebody. Like if you know somebody's
a mile away. When you see them coming, you're like,
when you see somebody on the street and you're like, this guy's about to ask me for $10. Like it's just something like that little, and you just have to get out of there. It's weird and disingenuous, and people, you got to give people more credit.
And it's a hard thing to describe, but that feeling of going to a bar, I haven't been single since I was your age, but going to a bar, hanging out on your back, on your heels, not being overly aggressive, not being needy that you need them to respond. You're going to get blown off by one chick, and then a hotter chick's going to come up and see you laughing with your boys and be into you, or whatever it is. Or someone who you would normally fall in love with is having a bad day, and she's, like when I met Tasha, she was having a bad day, right? You didn't give me the time of the day, and I kind of barreled through because I was like, I'm having fun. I don't care. I did not. I wasn't
you barreled through her bad day. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she was having a bad, we were on a job together, so she barreling through a bad day, and I was like, I'll just fuck around and talk to you and be stupid and funny. And it's kind of described our whole relationship, really. Like, you having a bad day? I'll still chum around with you. I'm sure you'll get over it. And make
just
her
pratfalls in the living room, just setting up bananas and stuff.
That's it. And it's like, when you go out to meet people, desperation, it's an intuition that women have because they see it as clear as you see a color.
Yeah.
They see a guy who hasn't been laid in a long time.
And they're just vibrating.
Yeah,
so what's your sign?
So like, what do you do? Just they know it.
So what are you into?
Or like, we've been watching Amazing Race because for whatever reason we decided to just start watching old
because
reality.
of that movie.
Which race won?
Which movie were we watching? We were watching the one with Kumail Nanjiani or whatever. He has a movie out called Lovebirds. It's actually really good. And in that they were talking about the Amazing Race. I was like, we should watch this. We
had never seen it.
I was like, yeah, they always win. They used to always win Emmys for it.
I know nothing about it.
Me neither. So I Googled it and I was like, what's the best season to watch? And they said season 5. And so then sure enough, we see season 5 and it looks like we're watching, like some fucking Bigfoot footage.
Even though it was 2003, it was like square.
Oh wow! Ratio. And it was actually just the different races competing against each other.
Yeah, that's all it was back in the day. The whites, they really were
the Amazing Race. This year, Latinas.
Yeah, and it was still a good show.
Latinos, whatever.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing.
Let's keep talking about
that's
races.
That's a whole other thing where
that's
I'm too old.
Simple.
Latinx, it doesn't flow like Latino. Like sure, yes, but like come on.
Latinx sounds like you need a prescription.
Well, the whole Latin culture is built on gender as a language.
But
it's a whole
is that
thing.
something that people say, or is it only written?
Are people going to start gendering like L and law and like Spanish, like za, like?
That's what I don't know. And I'm not like the old guy that's like, well, it's gone too far. But it's like, I'll understand what I can understand. But I'm having a hard time. But anyway, yeah. So
as long as you tell me,
what
I'm
was
cool.
The point
Don't expect
of
me to
why
know.
I was talking about Amazing Race.
No idea.
Oh, you said it was so weird and like antiquated because it was like 2003, like those square frame.
I had another point, but it's longer. Oh, there's a guy on it. So then we went from season 5 to like 29. We just jumped.
Okay.
Now there's like, there's drone footage. And I mean, back in season 5, they didn't have like Twitter, right? They were just living large. And now everything's a hashtag. So we're watching this new season and this girl, good-looking blonde chick, she gets paired with this weird guy. He's just a weird dude. They lasted longer than they should have because their communication was awful. He was probably sort of on the spectrum. He was kind of just like a tech guy, numbers.
So they pair you up with a stranger.
Yeah, that's the new twist on this particular season.
Okay.
Right, only on this season. So some people are like super mesh, and it was cool to see the psychology of it all because they really just couldn't coexist. And if that guy approached any girl at a bar, chances are the girl's going to be like, creeped.
Do you think
out.
that was in the casting process? They were like, "Ooh, this one's weird. Throw him in there."
We couldn't find out why he would have made it, other than maybe they just wanted a weird.
They were just
guy,
like wild card.
Yeah.
I think there definitely was that aspect of just like production, the same way that they produce The Bachelor.
Well,
They're
there's
like, okay, let's throw a couple like.
But everyone's got a cool skill. There's firemen. There's like a military guy with one leg.
He's like a key grip for a show that was across the way. They was like, "Get that guy. He's out there smoking cigarettes."
Key grip would have been better than this guy.
Yeah.
This guy was just a computer guy. He had no livable skills. He couldn't. He couldn't read a map.
Well,
he couldn't do anything.
But he was confident and driven. I think he's probably a very smart guy, but he was probably one of those guys that like
we hated him. And the whole show.
Do you remember being in school and like doing a group project and somebody like it just takes charge and wants to manage everything and won't let anybody participate?
That was not me once.
That was him. He like wouldn't let you participate. He like wanted to manage everything himself.
Oh, that seems like really fun television.
But there's a thing you can do called a U-turn. We gotta go. The sun's gone here. But there's a thing called a U-turn, which it basically sends the other team to like the back of the line. It pretty much guarantees they're gonna lose. And everyone on the show. Everyone on the show conspired to get this guy off. And they don't even have to deal with him. He's like in separate cars, but they still didn't like him that much. And they even said, they were like, because from one, you go from one race to the other, you get to the final part, then maybe you take a cruise ship to the next thing, and they're all drinking, everyone's having fun, and they just were creeped out by this guy. They're like, get him out. He's not like, one of us. And it was like crazy to see that because you're like,
everyone just turning on him like white blood cells, just like enveloping around him.
And it sucked because they weren't turning on him because he was an asshole. They just didn't like him.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's sort of, you don't have to like everybody. That's totally fair. But I guess it's from season to season, and they're on like 30 now.
Yeah.
You just have to find a way to raise the stakes. Like next season, it's going to be like, everyone's got a gun with one bullet. And it's just like, it's just something you're going to have to keep in the back of your head.
Dude, this is like 9th year of being in the pandemic. We're watching Amazing Race. Like there's so much other, like we could be watching Breaking Bad. We've never watched The Wire. There's so many amazing shows I
haven't watched The Wire either. I think that's good. I think it's good that none of us have.
But instead we're just like kind of just living this basic ass CBS life that I've always made fun of. And again, it is not good TV, but it's kind of cool. There's moments. I mean, I haven't cried yet watching it, but there's something about watching the human element and the psychology of it all that's interesting. But it's also, I was thinking if I was in a bunker, what type of TV show, like if you were in a bunker, 10 years in a bunker, what TV show would you watch? You only get one, but no, like, so you could, no, you don't want to pick like, the UK's version of The Office is only like 6 episodes, right? You want to pick something with longevity. So like, what would you,
Either like one of those long-standing 90s, maybe like Seinfeld.
Oh, there you go.
Or even, I had some weird like maybe even Frasier, something with like 7 to 9 seasons, something syndicated.
You want to have something you could watch 5 times.
Exactly, and something where each episode is separate enough to where you're not just having to follow a strict storyline. There's enough of a give and take.
I always said Lost would be good for that because I really enjoy Lost and there's a lot of little cookies. But also I thought Law and Order.
Because
has
there's
like
just 10 million episodes.
22 seasons.
Yeah.
But now I'm saying you got Amazing Race has like 35 seasons.
No,
so like
31, I think.
31 seasons plus so there's got to be like I don't know how many 500 episodes. How many 30 to 600 episodes? Whatever it is, that's what I'm picking if I get stuck in the bunker.
I'm just going to watch the 2nd season of You with Crystalia. That's all I'm going to watch.
We're just going to hang
the
out.
whole time. I'm going to watch it over and over again.
I
got these crazy legs, dude. I don't know what's going on. Did I do that? I'm sorry.
I don't know if I could stand hanging out with him. That's a lot of energy.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
A lot of energy.
I was just looking at my phone and everything started blowing up, dude. Too soon? Is it too soon?
How does it feel perfecting someone's accent and then they get canceled?
I only learned that afterwards. I always saw Crystalia, and there was like, I hate when, I think Bill Burr was talking about that this week on some other podcast, like when comics, like someone will get Me Too'd or something, and comics will use it as an excuse to just let out that they never liked their act anyway.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, oh, he was terrible, and they're like, virtue signal on the horrible thing that he did, and rightly so, and then it always pivots into, dude, his Netflix special wasn't even funny, man.
Look,
like,
that guy can crush in person.
If you can crush in a room.
Sometimes, your Netflix special, whatever, you got to make one a year if you're making that cash. Yeah. I don't know, but that dude can crush in a room. We got to get out of here. We're out of sunlight. How can people find you? Promote your stuff.
Oh, yeah. You can find me on Instagram, Nathan Loe, LOE _. I don't really use Facebook. That's not my thing. More YouTube stuff coming out. That'll be under Nathan Loe. You'll expect to see that in the next month or so. doing a lot more filming and like sketches and stuff. Everybody in LA is doing that.
You were in Stephen Briggs' sketch.
Yeah,
we just had
I
Stephen on
I was a cop
2 episodes ago, and you played the asshole cop, right?
Yeah, they gave me well, I think he was misunderstood. But I got a completely legit LAPD cop uniform for that. Like the baton swivel and everything.
We were talking about this the day we met because I was like, you got to wear your jacket inside out so when you're not filming so they know you're not a cop.
I was in an alley. There were like cars pulling up and they would stop like they didn't know what to do, and I just had to like wave them through. And the amount of arrogance that washed over me immediately, like my brow furrowed and my
you get one of those sticks that you start twirling.
Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't
stomping around with your arms crossed.
You're like a British cop now.
Yeah, I was having fun. I was filming a comedy sketch, like one of my favorite things to do in the world. But for some reason, when the car was going like, just go, like I felt weird and angry for no reason at all. I was like, come on, let's get it going.
You just got like the white gloves. And
yeah, I think it's just because those belts are like 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's hot.
Yeah, they're just sweaty and annoyed.
Yeah, who else? Who's going to make... You have to keep your shirt tucked in 2020? Come on.
Well, listen, if anyone needs to hire any cops, sexy or otherwise, Nathan's got you covered. Thanks for doing the podcast. Thanks for, welcome to Los Angeles, and we'll get the blender out next time you're on the show, right?
Baby.
All right, this was the podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I never prepared the...
S-A